what's up? It's Austin here, who just got out of the shower. How's everyone's day been doing? Let's address the elephant in the goddamn room, right? The videos that I've been posting lately. All the videos I've been posting lately, they've been kind of weird, right? They've been kind of weird. They've been kind of dark. Like, are you okay, Austin? No, I'm not okay, but I am doing better. Okay, my mental health is slowly returning again. It just sometimes cracks here and there. Okay. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so the video that we're talking about today, while I'm putting on my shirt, is I feel like it's something that's kind of worth talking about, right? It's the great YouTube paradox on how to start YouTube. The great YouTube paradox for starting YouTube is it's a weird thing, right? What do you have to do in order to succeed on YouTube, right? The first thing you have to do when succeeding on YouTube is to find a market, right? To find an audience that will want to watch you for what you do, right? So, for example, right, if I'm a commentary guy, my primary audience are going to be people who want to, have a little company, have a little somebody while talking about an interesting looking subject. You know what I mean? Like memes. Memes is an interesting subject. And, if the person that's, narrating over the memes is funny enough, then there is subscription, right? And yeah, like that's basically on how you succeed on YouTube. But the question is, how do you succeed? How do you start up your YouTube? That is not a question that I should be answering, because first I need to put on my shirt and stop recording my video and whatever, right? And second is, I'm not qualified because I am currently recording this video at no subscribers, barely any subscribers, and barely any goddamn views, and those free views are from my friends and subscribers from my friends, and those don't really count. I love y'all, but you don't really count, okay? You don't really count. I love you. You support me, but whatever, right? The whole point is, in order to succeed on YouTube, you either got to have a niche or you got to be riding on a trend, right? A niche or a trend. Those are the two things that help you succeed on YouTube, right? For example, drama channels. They thrive off trending content. Trending content that include news, reporting on people's bad behavior, and talking about cancels all the time, right? That is, what they do. The problem with riding the trend, though, is that yes, your content will be recommended to other people, but people, they are a bunch of sheep. That includes you guys, like, let's be real here, right? You don't click on a video with no views because it's sus. But if, let's say, 1,000 people clicked on the video, well, then it's still kind of sus, but at least it's more manageable. And if it's got 1 million views, it's either really, really good, or it's a video that's just made people really, really mad, and they just want to see the video. Like, that's the whole point, right? That's YouTube in a nutshell. So, let's talk about YouTube, right? Let's talk about YouTube. The reason why you don't really want to trend, right, is because you don't really have a personality. And at the end of the day, you're limited to the content that you produce, right? Like, for example, if all you do is steal PewDiePie's clips, or, any other big YouTubers' clips, or take Twitch streamers' clips and clip them, you're limited by how well they're doing on that day, Like, for example, like, let's say if PewDiePie isn't doing well, then your channel isn't going to do well, right? Or if, let's say, there just isn't enough drama because everybody's just having a good time. Well, I mean, that's false, because there's always going to be drama, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea. It's not going to work out. If, let's say a hypothetical situation of where that happens. So yeah, like, that's that. Well, then you say, okay, if you can't talk about a popular subject and get views from that, well, then how about you try, or like mess around with a popular character, or clip a popular character, or like basically talk about a popular person or a thing, right? You get the idea. You know what I'm talking about. Then how about let's talk about something that nobody's have talked about, right? Let's talk about something that no one has talked about, right? You know, like, let's talk about a niche thing, like that's the thing, right? Like niche, like talk about niche things and having a niche channel is, well, it's interesting, it's fun, it's unique, it's original, and it's all that. But the problem with having a niche content, like, you know what I mean, having like, oh, okay, let's talk about this obscure Japanese game. Let's just revolve the entire like channel around that. The problem with that is that yes, you're covering content that people have already, you're already talking about the content that people have already talked about, right? Or, okay, I'm just making no sense here. I'm thinking about the other thing. Okay, let me rephrase that again. The problem with talking about niche content is that, well, you're hitting a different audience, right? You're hitting for somebody that doesn't really care about the views and just cares the fact that you're talking about it, right? Like that's niche content in a nutshell. Like, which is great. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, who cares if this guy has 5 subscribers and all does weird shit? I mean, he's kind of funny and he's talking about this weird game that I've played, but nobody just seems to enjoy. Like, this is cool, right? Let's support him. But the problem with that is that it's niche, and so that's why YouTube algorithm will not upload something that's niche, because if it recommends niche content, then it's no longer niche, right? So that's like there's this weird goddamn loop towards niche content and trending content. The niche content, that's something that's kind of cool, and that's something that yeah, you get the idea. I'm not really good with these explanation videos, but I like making them because it's just something that's on my mind. But yeah, currently I'm not able to have content that's trending or content that's niche for people to give a shit about my channel. So what should I do? Maybe. Well, most people, they combine both, right? And let's talk about that. Maybe like the upsides and the downsides of trending content and not trending content, and just combining them both, right? The problem with that, right, okay, so the formula is you talk about something popular and then you put your own twist to it, right? And that is easier said than done, right? You talk about a game if you pick a game to talk about or play about or whatever, right? Play whatever. It can't be too popular of a game. If it's too popular of a game, then people are going to they'd rather watch somebody else than watch a 1 view video of you doing the exact same thing another person's doing, but with like hundreds and thousands of subscribers, right? Like come on, nobody's gonna give a shit about that. But it can't be niche too, it's just gotta be something middle. Like if it's niche, well, there are already other niche content creators that may be covering the same topic. Granted, not a lot because it's niche, but like I said, right? It's just, yeah. So a lot of people, what they try to do is they try to put a spin to okay, yeah, you should watch my channel. I know I'm very small and all that shit, but I have something to offer, right? I'm kind of funny and I'm kind of sadistic. I don't know. Maybe you like that type of shit. Like, that's just one example, right? That's just one example. That's definitely not the content that I'm trying to make, sadistic content. It's nothing like that, right? Nothing like that, guys. It's okay, guys. What I'm trying to say, though, is it's just crazy just dealing with YouTube, right? The great paradox of YouTube. It's wacko. Look, another thing, right? But the great paradox of YouTube is that, at the end of the day, it's whether or not somebody's feeling lucky, or whether or not, that's literally how it is, right? You could be the best, you could have the most entertaining content in the world, and you could be talking about a popular subject, or talking about a niche content to certain people, right? You cater to a certain group and all that, right? Whatever, right? Whatever your approach is, at the end of the day, let's get real here. You're not gonna succeed unless you get a couple people to click and share. So if if you're considering anything, maybe consider subscribing and consider sharing the video, because that would help me a lot. That would help you guys a lot. And that would help me a lot. Okay? And without further ado, guys, let me just dab and nay nay, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, guys? Guys.